from Kern Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning, and let me call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors. This is Tuesday, December 10th. First item is roll call.
Supervisor Peters?
Here.
Supervisor Flores?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Perez?
Here.
Thank you. The next item is the salute to the flag. We're going to do it a little bit differently this morning. Jose Lopez, who is our Director of Veteran Services, is going to make that was A and Ann put together, an introduction of a gentleman who's going to lead us in the flag salute. And at the conclusion of that, please remain standing for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation. Mr. Lopez, good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, everybody. I want to introduce an outstanding member of our community, a veteran, and somebody who's put in a lot of effort into his community. He's always giving back. Is Jose J. Hernandez. He was born in Westmoreland, California, was one of 13 children. His family decided to call McFarland home back in 1959. He would graduate from McFarland High and attend BC, but in 1970 he joined the U.S. Army and was stationed in Frankfurt, Germany. He worked in plans and intelligence and had a top secret clearance. Mr. Hernandez was promoted to Specialist 5 and received an Army Commendation Medal for his meritorious service. After returning home and continuing his education, he would earn a degree and marry his wife, Maria. He has 2 daughters and 1 son and 8 grandchildren. Mr. Hernandez serves on various education boards and is a lifetime member of the Lions Club, and his list of accomplishments are lengthy. We don't have time today, but he does a lot. But I wanted to highlight that recently, Mr. Hernandez played an instrumental role in helping me locate the family of Private First Class Clyde Spradley. He was the son of McFarland, who was killed in action on the beaches of Normandy. His dog tag was found by a Frenchman who was metal detecting on the beach and mailed to me more than 6 years ago. It was only with the help of Mr. Hernandez that I was able to finally locate the family of PFC Spradley and return the dog tags to their family. So this should come as no surprise, since Mr. Hernandez believes in serving his 3 C's. First, his creator, second, his country, and third, his community. So thank you, Mr. Hernandez, for everything you do. And if you'll do us the honor of leading us in the flag salute.
Salute pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez, thank you, and Mr. Hernandez, thank you for coming today, leading us in the flag salute, and for your service to our country and our community. We appreciate it very much. You bet. Next is the pet of the week. I didn't see Nick in the back, but we have Nick Cullen, our Director of Animal Services. He appears here with a friend. Morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Chairman Couch.
You can't see this from where you are, but Nick's got a little hair on him this morning.
It's not a little. It's a lot. Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. Our pet of the week chosen this morning is Vivian. Vivian's, she's still a puppy. She's only about 4 months old. She's a small breed mix, and she's available for adoption right now at the Kern County Animal Shelter.
Vivian, where'd you come up with that?
Off the top
Your
of my
staff
head.
does that? Okay. Let's find Vivian a forever home, guys.
Thank you.
See you later. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Found it. All right. Okay, that takes us over to the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. If any of you have a question about any of those or would like to make a comment on any of those, now is the time to ask. Let me tell you what's on the consent agenda. First of all, it starts on page 2, consists of items 2, 5 through 7, onto page 3, all the items 8 through 14, onto page 4, all the items 15 through 20, onto page 5, items 21 through 25. I would like to remove item 11 for separate consideration or just some discussion here at the board. So the motion, is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on any of the items I just read other than item 11? We'll give you a chance to talk to item 11 when we discuss that. Okay, so no questions on any consent agenda items. Looking for a motion on the consent agenda with the exception of item 11 for separate consideration.
Motion with the exception of item 11.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. We will get to item 11 in its normal listed sequence. Takes us back, having the consent calendar approved. We'll go back to the top of page 2. Under the resolutions and proclamations portion of the meeting, item 1 proclaims November 2024 as National Diabetes Month in Kern County, and this proclamation will be presented by Supervisor Perez.
Motion on proclamation.
Please cast your votes.
Second.
Now that we have a second, yeah.
Supervisor Flores, can you confirm your vote? Thank you. The vote is all ayes. Approved.
Thank you.
Who's coming down? We ready? Come on down. Now's your time. Is Clinica here? Is that right? Okay, come on down. You'll have a moment to speak after I finish. Thank you for being here and welcome. Chair and colleagues, I'm happy to stand before you today to proclaim National Diabetes Month in Kern County. This is an annual campaign aimed at promoting diabetes education, treatment, and prevention, especially with our most at-risk populations. National Diabetes Month was created to focus on the importance of managing diabetes for a longer, healthier life. It stresses the importance of making informed choices and developing sound eating and lifestyle habits. This year's theme is We Fight for You. The National Diabetes Association's campaign intends to acknowledge the ongoing battle with diabetes that many face. This campaign aims to support those with diabetes and those at risk of developing it. We hope to use this special recognition to highlight resources for diabetes education, mental health support, and treatment ideas and advancements. Thank you to our essential staff at Public Health, as well as our many community partners, such as Clinica Sierra Vista, for your work at educating and assisting our neighbors, families, and friends. Let me happily make this presentation to you today. Clinica, I've been attending Clinica and getting treatment since I was a very small child. It's your beloved institution stalwart, place for help and comfort. Thank you for that. The Board of Supervisors, County of Kern, State of California, has officially proclaimed November 2024 as National Diabetes Awareness Month in Kern County, and it has been entered into the official board minutes. Present this to you, and the floor is yours. We'd love to hear from you. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning, honorable members of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. My name is Alondra. This is my colleague Daisy. We are dietetic interns, soon to be registered dietitian nutritionist. It's our privilege to stand here today to recognize November as American Diabetes Month in Kern County.
And as we know, diabetes is not just a national issue, but a pressing concern here in Kern County. Approximately 10% of adults in California, including many in our community, live with diabetes. Even more alarming is that 1/3 of adults in the state, nearly 33.4%, have prediabetes, placing them at a high risk for developing type 2 diabetes.
Diabetes is a complex and life-altering condition that can lead to devastating complications like kidney failure, heart disease, so many other issues. Through my internship here in Kern County, I've witnessed the profound impact diabetes has on individuals and families, including severe complications like amputations.
And for me, this issue is very personal. My father has type 2 diabetes, and I've seen firsthand that struggle that he has endured and the many challenges that come with managing type 2 diabetes. It's a reminder that diabetes can affect any one of us, and nearly 1 in 3 people in this room are likely to develop it in their lifetime.
The good news is that type 2 diabetes can often be prevented or controlled. This requires access to affordable health care, nutrition therapy, and education from professionals like registered dietitian nutritionists and diabetes care specialists. Unfortunately, many in Kern County face barriers to care, from financial constraints to a lack of walkable communities and fresh produce, despite our valley being a hub for agriculture.
That's why American Diabetes Month is so important. It's a time to come together as a community to raise awareness, promote prevention, and advocate for better resources. We can make a difference by supporting policies that improve access to care, encouraging healthy lifestyles, and addressing systematic barriers.
Today, we ask you to join us in this fight against diabetes. By proclaiming November as American Diabetes Month in Kern County, we reaffirm our commitment to stopping this epidemic. Let's work together to ensure that everyone in our community has the tools and support they need to prevent and manage diabetes.
Thank you for this opportunity. With your support, we can create a healthy Kern County, one that prioritizes awareness, prevention, and access to care for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Oh, I think they want to do a picture, so let's open this. One on either side of it. I love you. I seriously do. Nice, well, there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for being here. Appreciate it. It takes us to item 3. This is public presentations. This is the portion of the meeting that's reserved for persons to bring matters before the board. They're under the jurisdiction of the board, but not on today's agenda. If you want to speak on item 11, I would encourage you to wait until then. It shouldn't be too long. If you're pressed for time, we could actually hear you now. So, this is our 2-minute drill. Mr. Shin?
Yes,
Good morning.
sir. Good morning to the board members. Good morning, Chairman Couch. God bless America. I am Charles Shin, S-H-I-N-N. I am a retired Marine and a concerned citizen. For the last many years, our group has been filling out the application to purchase voter registration information. And from about April timeframe of this year, we have been noticing we're missing information like the disposition of ballots and large sections of voting information like who voted in what election. We can talk more about this in our committee. On to the EVAS. The EVAS report is due. It is going to be worked on here shortly. Memorandum 24-230 from the Secretary of State from December 3rd. December 13th, the county must provide the Secretary of State with the point of contact who will answer the specific EVAS questions to the Secretary of State. On January 13th, the county responses must be completed on the EVAS report. And February 3rd, the final state data is due to the EAC, Election Accountability Commission, from the Secretary of State, which means that's the published date. Election Integrity Project has sent a letter of intent to sue several counties for vote by mail ballots with the punched hole in the envelope. Kern County has also the punched hole in the envelope. I don't know if we're being sued yet or not. Your actions violate Article 2, Section 7 of the California Constitution, which states that, quote, voting shall be secret, unquote. The Elections Code, Division 19, Chapter 3, Article 1B2, also states the system shall preserve the secrecy of the ballot. And finally, The 5-year report that Chairman Couch asked for back on the 23rd of January of this year is way past due on 5-year removals. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Morning, Mr. Robles.
Good morning. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, and I'm a veteran. And we will continue to share what has happened in Greenfield. In 2016, GSUD Trustee Area C voters elected Dr. Ricardo Herrera as the trustee for Area C of the district. He has served continuously and been re-elected since that time. In the recent November 5, 2024 election, Dr. Herrera ran against Mercy Pena for the GSUD Trustee Area C position. As reported by the Kern County Elections Department website, the current vote count is 1,012 votes for Ms. Pena and 1,004 votes for Dr. Herrera. On December 3, 2024, Counsel for the respondent, Deputy County Counsel Stephanie Bowie, notified GSUD Counsel, Schools Legal Service, that the respondent discovered 108 voters were incorrectly assigned to GSUD Area C that should have been assigned to Area D. This is a letter from Stephanie Bowie, date December 3, 2024. Hi, Abby. I'm following up on our call this morning. Kern County Elections discovered 108 voters were assigned to the wrong trustee area in the Greenfield District, USD Area C race, and were incorrectly allowed to vote in that race. All affected voters should have assigned to trustee Area D. The two candidates in this race are separated by less than 10 votes at the most recent count. We have confirmed that the Kern County Elections Council, official, must certify the election results by Thursday, December 5, absent a court order. At this time, we have spoken with your office, each candidate, and we left a voicemail with the school district regarding this situation and the relevant deadlines.
Mr. Robles, we're way over our 2 minutes. Can I ask you to bring those comments to a close?
Well, it's given how close this race is in Area C, the recent news of respondent improperly attributing votes to the incorrect trustee area. Petitioner has no choice but to file this petition to seek to preserve the integrity of this election.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and I've got something to pass to the board. I stabbed myself. Ouch. Trying to commit suicide.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, Board. Thank you for hearing me today. Greenfield continued. My name is Pamela Reese, R-E-E-C-E. Thank you. The petitioner is informed and believes that the respondent will certify this election as accurate on December 5th, 2024, which is already passed, regardless of these improperly attributed votes. Should the respondent certify the election results when 108 votes were attributed incorrectly, the respondent will violate education code, election codes, including the sanctity and fairness of the Greenfield Unified School District's chosen and adopted election process. Respondent is a county department and subject to following the law, including its own policies, rules, procedures, in addition to statutory and other law. Respondent has a clear present ministerial and legal duty to certify the election results that comport with the legal requirements of these statutes, including the Education and Election Code sections cited above. The petitioner seeks to prevent the respondent from abusing its authority and discretion, refusing to follow the legal requirements for this election, and acting in an arbitrary and capricious manner. Respondent will abuse its discretion by certifying the results on December 5th, which is already passed, under the circumstances presented in this case. Respondent's abuse of discretion threatens to cause petitioner harm and harms the current candidates who have run for that office, the integrity of its election process, the governance of the district going forward, the public and constituents of the Greenfield Unified School District. Petitioner has no plain, speedy, or adequate remedy at law regarding respondent's failures to adhere to the law, nor the relief sought by this petition for writ of mandate. The petitioner has an actual present controversy with respondent regarding the potential certification of improper and unlawful election results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors. Petitioner brings this original action for declaration of the party's rights and duties, given the respondent has stated its intent to certify the results of December 5th without following the law regarding who is eligible to vote. Respondent seeks declaratory judgment or order addressing the following controversies and legal questions. A, whether respondent can certify votes that he knows were improperly attributed to the incorrect trustee district of the Greenfield Union School District in contravention of the Educational Code and the Election Code. B, whether the respondent has a legal ministerial duty to postpone the clarification to allow it to release the 108 votes and attribute them to the proper trustee area of GUSD. C, whether respondent has a legal obligation to conduct a recount at its own expense due to the late discovery error in the voting basis upon trustee areas. This declaration is necessary and appropriate at this time, so petitioner may ensure the integrity of the trustee's election. Concerned citizens request the Board of Supervisors to enter into dialogue with County Council to ascertain the appropriate steps to formally rescind Ordinance G-6050, 1994 before the next election cycle of 2026. This ordinance is responsible for the consideration of 3 separate official functions that no longer serve this county: Kern Auditor Controller, Kern County Clerk, and Registrar of Voters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Concerned citizens are aware that the elections of...
Sir, can you give me your name, please?
Sure. Jess Sanders.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Concerned citizens are aware that the Elections Office has failed again to manage county data in regards to maintaining the area maps of the candidates and holding accurate elections. We would like the Board of Supervisors to begin serious discussion over the Auditor, Controller, Clerk, Registrar of Voters, and return to a 2-lead position in a positive action to enable dedicated focus in the best practices, accuracy, and saving financial burdens placed on the county. The current lawsuit was filed. Petitioner Greenfield Union School District versus Kern County Elections Division. Petitioner Greenfield Union School District, GSUD, or petitioner hereby respectfully petitions the court to issue a writ of ordinary mandate pursuant to the California Code of Civil Procedures, Section 1085, and issue the declaration judgment under California Code Civil Procedure, Section 1060 of the California Code of Civil Procedure, Code of Civil Procedure, directing the county elections divisions to refrain from certifying an election result for the Board of Trustees of the GSUD due to improper, unlawful votes being cast per Elections Code Sections 15372. Respondents must certify the vote no later than the date December 5, 2024, and cannot be allowed to do so when the improper and unlawful votes have been cast. I encourage the board to stop throwing money at the symptoms and address the problem by separating the auditor, controller, county clerk from the register of voters to give ultimate attention to our vote.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other public comments today? If you have public comments, looks like there's a few of you. Could we get you to come to the front row so we can get you to the microphone quickly? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Abby Lanick, Lehnig, and I am the Kern Regional Director of California Policy Center, a nonpartisan nonprofit dedicated to advocating for financial sustainability, government transparency, and the prosperity of all Californians by eliminating public sector barriers to freedom. We were established in 2013 as a response to the gross overspending and unbridled power of public sector unions in the state of California. In light of comments made during last week's meeting, I wish to address the board and those in attendance today to share a message by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He said, "All government employees should realize that the process of collective bargaining, as usually understood, cannot be transplanted into the public service. Militant tactics have no place in the functions of any organization of government employees. Upon employees in government service rests the obligation to serve the whole people whose interests and welfare require orderliness and continuity in the conduct of government activities. Since their own services have to do with the functioning of the government, a strike of public employees manifests nothing less than an intent on their part to prevent or obstruct the operations of government until their demands are satisfied. The paralysis of government by those who have sworn to support it is unthinkable and intolerable." According to California Policy Center research and analysis, Kern County already owes and will owe $1.77 billion in pension obligations, much of which is currently unfunded. As a local taxpayer, this number makes my stomach churn. For the fiscal health and stability of our county and community, I urge the local union to accept the reasonable contract that the Board of Supervisors has offered. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have
Morning, Ms. Adams.
Hello. I'll wait until everybody has the numbers that I just provided the clerk. Janine Adams, J-E-A.
Excuse me, before you get started, I want to ask if you could have, if Elsa is available. It looks like this is the material she went over last week. You might want to have her available. Thank you. Good morning.
And I did leave a copy for Elsa and CAO as well with the clerk, along with my phone number in case they would like to contact me. My apologies for the poor copy that I've handed out. I'm just, regular citizen out here trying to provide information, okay? Our county needs more, Janine Adams, Jeanine, last name Adams, Adams. I live in Tehachapi. Our county needs more financial transparency and accountability. The public deserves to know more, to have more transparency, a more transparent reason why the county cannot, quote unquote, afford to give their employees a fair contract. Although financial information may seem complicated because of the jargon, it is not the case. Financial statements are based on straightforward math, so I feel that every voter and myself here in Kern County can understand this information if presented in a simple fashion. Let's see how I can do with the numbers that CFO Martinez presented last week. Since I don't have the benefit of a slide, I'm giving you copies of what was presented, these numbers. Hopefully I can get through it in my 2 minutes. Now I'm down to 1 minute. Okay, the first line, current assets and other assets. That is an increase from the time period we're talking about of $1.225 billion. I'm assuming those zeros there that I put on there because that's how financial statements are usually placed. Then we go down to the quote, unrestricted quote unquote deficit. Deficit has a very negative connotation, and I think that all they're trying to say is that it's a negative restricted. That means unrestricted. That means available for the various purposes, including raises. 1% increase is $1 million, according to the CFO last time. 5% would be 5 times 5. That'd be $5 million. Subtract that from the $990 million that is unrestricted. Do that for 2 years, and you still are left with $980 million. I think that there's plenty of room for reasonable and fair contract. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Who'll be next? And I would encourage you, I think you did stick around last week, but let's, I see Ms. Martinez just came into the room, so we'll ask her for comments in a moment. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Joshua Pierce, P-I-E-R-C-E. I stand before you today weary of the ongoing games, hypocrisy, and blatant disregard for the well-being of our community. 6 months ago, Jessica Armstrong and Allison Burrows claimed ignorance when I mentioned Eastern Kern, stating they didn't understand the term. Yet just last week, Ms. Burrows submitted a letter for emergency mental health services explicitly acknowledging the needs in East Kern. Kern BHRS awarded that same contract to a company whose internal auditor, Yesenia Avitia, blew the whistle on Medi-Cal billing fraud over 2 months ago. This raises serious concerns about standards and potential favoritism in their contracting process. Moreover, Kern BHRS has failed to honor our clients' rights by refusing to communicate with their medical advocates, a right protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Recently, Kern BHRS retaliated against us for holding them accountable to the contract they authored. They continue to deny valid claims that fall under the continuity of care and no wrong door provisions, both pertinent to substance use disorder services, and instead they are misapplying a non-relevant transition of care provision. In a meeting with you, Supervisor Couch, Kern BHRS committed to abiding by state hearing decisions, yet they are now attempting to alter the original agreed upon reimbursement amount. And to date, we have won 6 out of 6 appeals, with another hearing this afternoon, another next week, and 5 more are awaiting filing. And tragically, since June, our community has suffered 7 overdose deaths. The moral and ethical responsibility for these losses rely with the leadership of Kern BHRS and the County Council's office. I am aware that Kern BHRS and County Council have prepared their rhetoric, as they have before. But with 6 appeals won, 1 more this afternoon, 5 pending, how many times must it definitively be proven that Kern BHRS has violated their clients' rights before the state steps in and takes over? How many more people in our community have to die before you look beyond mere numbers on a paper and recognize the desperate need for more care? I do not know the answer to these questions, and I do not want to find out. Please take action before we are forced to discover the toll of inaction.
Mr. Pierce, is it, my understanding is that those appeals have to go through the process since they've begun, right?
Well, they don't. The county can step in and say, just with one of them, the county's even said,
that's not the way I remember the meeting. But this is a month ago, and I've slept a few times. Yeah. I thought it was sort of agreed upon that that was the way forward, that the appeals had to be heard. No?
It is. They have been heard, but the county can step in, and Kern BHRS, because one client, he ended his treatment just less than a month after they terminated care, agreed to just continue his care without needing to proceed with the rest of a hearing. So there are decisions that that Kern BHRS can make in that process.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning. Please. Good morning. I'm John Hickman, and that's JONHICKMAN. Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. My name is John, and I'm here to once again advocate for better substance use disorder treatment options in Eastern Kern County. I've heard comments suggesting that Kern County is behind the times or backwards, and I want to challenge that narrative. Kern County has always been a place of innovation, resilience, and forward-thinking solutions. Our history is rich with examples of people and leaders who have pushed boundaries to bring progress to our communities. Let's continue to prove that perception wrong and show that we are a county committed to addressing the challenges we face in modern and effective ways. One way to do this is by expanding access to treatment for underserved areas and people like in Eastern Kern. The need is clear, the resources exist, and we have local providers like Cornerstone and others, ready and willing to step up. Let's not let bureaucracy or limited options define the care we offer. We can and should do better for our people. By embracing solutions that ensure timely, accessible, and high-quality care, we have an opportunity to set new standards, not just for Kern County, but for other rural areas facing similar challenges. Together, we can continue to innovate, lead, and show that Kern County is a place where all residents have the resources they need to thrive. Thank you. And about the hearings, we won 6 out of the 6 hearings.
Understood.
And they're trying to change the compensation that we get for those 6 out of 6. And that's what Josh was talking about.
When you say they, you mean?
The county.
Kern County
VHRS.
Behavioral Health.
Mhm.
How
So
are
we
they-
won
how-
the cases for
describe-
continuity of care.
Describe for me how they are trying to do that. What are they, what is?
They're trying to rewrite the contract from our original agreed upon amount to a lesser amount of how they're compensating us. They're trying to change how they're compensating the continuity of care. So they're trying to reduce.
I wasn't
how much
aware
we
that
pay.
the old contract would be controlling document, for lack of a better term, in these cases. I mean, well, we'll look into that.
I just want to kind of clarify that one.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Other public comments? Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Perez.
To the Eastern Kern folks that are here, passionately advocating for your community, I appreciate you very much. I can't imagine how much work it is to get down here, especially with your friend. So we appreciate you. I'm hopeful that we'll work this through to resolution. And luckily, you're about to get a supervisor, which is really good timing. I'm so sorry that you have gone through this experience with the county without a direct supervisor. That's really unfortunate. Now, by January, you will have a new supervisor. That election is over. And I have every confidence that Mr. Parley is going to work closely with you to earn your trust and to bring us to some resolution in these matters. But I appreciate your patience. I'm sorry that it has taken so long, but I'm hopeful that with your supervisor, it will certainly streamline and move the process along. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for everything that you do in Eastern Kern, which seems like a world away from us here in Bakersfield. So it's a good reminder. So thank you and Merry Christmas to you.
I imagine that our department head, Allison Burrows of Kern Behavioral Health, would have a comment today, but I know that she's not available because she's not here. So can't be here. Okay. Any other public presentations? Seeing none, we'll go to board member announcements and reports. I'm sorry. Ms. Martinez, you're right. Under board member announcements and reports. Ms. Adams says we've got $1 billion, or close to it. Why don't we just put that in a 2-year treasury and we make 4%, and then the 5% raise is easy. What say you?
Supervisor Couch through the chair, and I apologize, I did not hear her comments completely.
By the way, do you have this?
I have not seen that, but I just want to clarify, as I mentioned before, they are looking at 2023 numbers. A lot happens in 18 months. We did a budget. And as I explained in the past, that $1 billion, if she's referring to the same number that I explained last week, it is the bottom line made up of capital assets, debt, resources that are assigned to pay debt service, on pension liabilities, on loans that we have. So they are not available for raises. I wish they were, but they are not. You cannot sell the roads. And I cannot sell the roads, the buildings, to give people raises. That's the reality of the financial statements. We are in negotiations, and there's a lot of information, financial information flowing out there, and we are ready to gear up to start our next year budget for 2025. So at the mid-year, I hope to give the board and the community a better explanation of our numbers, because there's a lot of misinformation that perhaps is, I'm a CPA, and I look at the financial statements and I still have to, look up stuff. What is that? Because the rules change how you report. Let me give you an example. In 2021, there was a rule change in accounting that said, hey, governments, you have control. Even though you don't own the money, you have control over some funds that are in the treasury pool. Therefore, you should report them on your financial statements. Well, that adds to the bottom line.
You're kidding.
Are they available to spend on
No.
county resources? No, they're not. So when you're looking at the financial statements, you have to not just look at the numbers. There are about 60 pages of notes that are as important as the numbers. I go in front of rating agency. I go to San Francisco, to S&P, because we own that. I go to Moody's, and I get grilled on the numbers. And believe me, I know the numbers. So don't just look at the numbers. Look at the notes. Look at current information. Look at our budget. I prepared for your board a 5-year projection within the budget. I spent a lot of time doing that. So you, your board, and the community knows what resources we have for the current fiscal year and moving forward. When I come back for the mid-year report, I'll be doing that again, and we'll have that information available, not 2023 data. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I was wondering if Ms. Martinez can explain what deficit, this is a negative, negative 989.
Oh, yes. That's a deficit, by the way, not a resource. That means we're in the hole. We're in the red. That means we
Can't spend that?
can't spend what you don't have. So again, you can look at just numbers. You cannot look at 2023 data. This is from 2023, and that big negative is not money available. It's a deficit because the county, the way they calculate, if you look at the top number, that net asset, investment and capital asset, those are our buildings. Whatever is left is a deficit. So we do not look at these numbers when we prepare your budget, when we look what's available to provide increases to our employees. We look at the totality of the county finances and the sources, not just, combine. This number that you're looking here includes those resources that I mentioned, that there was an accounting rule that are not available to the county to use for any service, not just salaries, any service, because they don't belong to the county. We control them, but they don't belong to the county. So yes, but I'll be happy during our mid-budget report, hopefully, to do a better job for the public, our employees, and your board explaining our
I'm not
numbers.
implying you did a bad job at all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Board member announcements, reports, item 4. None of those. Takes us to item 11, which was removed for separate consideration, which is, on our agenda, it says certification of results of the general election held November 5th, 2024. In actuality, what is being recommended to the board is to declare the results official as certified by the county clerk. So I'm going to turn to our CAO, and if Ms. Espinoza is here, are you in the back? There you are. Give us a little bit of an explanation of what this item is. Let me kick it off here and say, you, as the registrar of voters, have declared the results, have certified the results.
Correct.
Of the election. Then you place this on our agenda subsequent to that for us to take this action, which is to declare the results official.
Correct.
Okay, so you heard and by the way, this, what I believe the speakers were reading from is a legal action, lawsuit electronically filed on December the 4th. So I'm sorry to make you stand there, Ms. Rezan. This is the one that we discussed, I guess, yesterday, or maybe it was last week. I've forgotten. What couldn't have been last week. Yesterday, Is this the one that the court has said the district doesn't have standing? No? So let me just throw this open to both of you as the registrar of voters and as the county council, and give us an explanation of what we're doing today and also what you heard from the speakers. Either one of you can go first.
So the item before you this morning, board, is, as you mentioned, to declare the results official.
What is the meaning, by the way, what is the meaning of that? Or is that just a sort of a public notification, or does declaring it official have a legal ramification? That might be for Margot.
Chairman Couch, the statute that your agenda item is being brought before you is the Elections Code Section 15400. And what it specifically says is the governing body, and in this case that would be you, the governing body shall declare elected or nominated to each office voted or at each election, let me start over. The governing body shall declare elected or nominated to each office voted on at each election under its jurisdiction, the person having the highest number of votes for that office, or who was elected or nominated under the exceptions noted in section 15452. The governing body shall also declare the elections of each election under its jurisdiction as to each measure voted on at the election. So you are declaring those that have been elected or nominated for those that are under your jurisdiction.
And what's the legal ramification of declaring that?
It means that people are then, can be certified to take office. Oaths can be administered, and people become eligible to be seated.
That can't be done based on the registrar of voters certifying it.
So the registrar of voters also issues what's called a certificate of election. That's a slightly different thing. That just not just
notification.
Yeah, but the registrar of voters gets a certificate of election, and that there's some confusion because certifying the election and certificate of election sound somewhat similar, but they're actually slightly different. So with the certifying the election that then is declared by you, keeps the process of going forward. And when, just kind of continue on, once it was realized that there were errors that had been made, the Secretary of State was contacted about should things be put on hold or pause buttons.
So that was the Secretary of State was contacted and asked, how do we handle this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Secretary of State, the Chief of Elections employee of the California Secretary of State replied, although an error was made on certain ballots for the local school district trustee election, there is no authority in the elections code for your county to not certify the election. Any such action would require a court order.
And subsequent to that is when this action was filed?
So yes, it's my understanding that then the Greenfield Union School District filed, it's called a petition for a writ of mandate. It's asking the court to, in essence, kind of make a direction or to issue an order. That was filed. It was filed on the 4th. Ms. Espinoza, in keeping with state law, certified the election on the 5th. This writ of mandate was heard by the Superior Court on the 6th, and the judge denied this writ because of finding that it was moot because the election had already been certified. I wasn't at the proceedings, so I've had a number of reports. Did not say that the Greenfield Union School District lacks standing, but questioned whether the school district had standing or whether that an action was better brought by an individual, an elector, somebody who can vote. And it's my understanding that the school district was invited or encouraged to file an amended petition. But I haven't seen that. I have been communicating with the lead counsel for the school's legal services, working out, discussing options. There's statutes that provide for what I'm just referring to as a post-certification process where you contest the outcome of the election. And in this case, most likely it would be a special election to redo that portion.
What's the process to make that happen? Do we have to do something? Does the court direct us to do it? How does it come to be?
So it varies from the different types of entities, like within a special district or a hospital district, your board can be asked to call for a special election. I haven't been able to find that exact language related to school districts, but certainly a court could order that a special election occur.
Okay, so this is where it gets, let me talk in lay terms, because that's really all I know. If we made a mistake, how do we ensure that we're not making someone else pay to fix it?
So there's also, within the elections code sections that say, in layman's term, that if the party who brings the request for the special elections, if the court determines that a mistake was made, they can recover their costs and fees.
That would be not only the school district that has to pay to put an election on the ballot, right?
Correct.
But then you have candidates that we're on. Would more candidates be allowed to run, or just the people that were on in the past where the mistake was made? How does that work? Or do we know that?
I don't.
So,
Go ahead.
Let's let Ms. Espinosa.
sorry, will you please repeat that,
So,
Supervisor Couch?
If we're calling a special election, when I say we, it's the royal we, if we're being required to do that because the mistake was made, who can then run? Anyone that's in that district or in that area? Or is it just the two that were on the ballot previously when the mistake was made?
I think that's something we may have to look into. I don't know if that's something that a court could order to redo just with the existing candidates.
Because
yeah,
those
I
two,
can't speak on that.
I think there are two candidates in this. I don't know them. I just know there's two. It seems like they did everything right. It doesn't matter who won. They did what they were supposed to do to get on the ballot and run their campaign, and the results are what they are. The district, I guess, did what they were supposed to do. The mistake appears to be on our end. Are we right about that?
Correct.
So if we declare the results official, that doesn't preclude us from fixing the problem. Or does it? That's really the question. If we take this action, can we still?
Yes, there can be a contest. There's still grounds for a contest to contest the election.
How do we give the people that were involved in this, the district, the candidates, and the voters in that area, the assurance that today's action is not the end, and that we're going to make that right? If that's what needs to be done, then that's what we'll do. How do we do that?
Well, partly because of what the Secretary of State's office said is that the recourse or it would require a court action or a court order in order to The county has to certify the elections. The board then declares the elections. The local court found that that has already happened, so he couldn't stop the election from being certified. But a subsequent petition could have the court, will have the court likely rule there needs to be a fix. And that fix would be, it would come in under the elections codes under probably section 16100, which is the grounds or causes for contesting the election. And and the county is not going to contest or actively fight that in court. A mistake was made. The county owns that a mistake was made, so we just have to go through the process to fix that mistake.
And courts typically do that quickly. But we don't
Anything
know
with
the calendar.
elections is heard in a very expedited fashion.
So it could be that by next Tuesday, we know what the court has ruled.
Quite possibly, yes.
So could you agendize for next Tuesday a discussion of this so we know, so people can hear it again and understand what the court's ruled, if they have, and what to expect going forward?
We can do that.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, first off, I do want to mention that we're not the only county who has had this.
I understand.
And we strive for excellence in all of my divisions. Perfection is unattainable. Anyone who's tried to make everything perfect. An election is a huge undertaking, any election, and maintaining the voter rolls. And week after week, we have people coming up who make disparaging remarks towards my department and the services that we provide to this community. And it's very disheartening. People who have no idea what it actually takes to run elections are constantly looking for errors for the areas where we don't reach perfection. And my staff works very hard, long hours away from their families, trying to serve our Kern County residents, the voters. And so I just wanted on record here at today's meeting that I fully stand behind my staff. Do errors occur? Yes, it's human error. It happens. Do we get on it right away and try to correct things as quickly as possible? Yes. In this instance, we were ready to certify on the 3rd, but I waited until the 5th, made that decision so that we could give Greenfield an opportunity to get before a court, and if an order was made, we were already looking at how do we present these results to your board if we had to exclude that. Timing of it, I didn't have a court order in hand. I had to certify the results. I had to. As you mentioned, as Margot mentioned, after these proceedings, if another election is called, my office is more than happy to redo that. We understand that it was an error on our part. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to pick and choose which elections we're going to rerun. I am bound by the laws of California. And again, I stand behind our work. It's not perfect. It's a lot. And we make every effort to make sure that the voters of Kern County have accurate results and our processes are transparent.
Well, let me end with this. It certainly, if it was taken as a disparaging comment to you or your department, it certainly wasn't meant to be. In my opinion, or what I was attempting to do here today, is simply let people know in terms that I feel like they can understand, because when we start talking about legal and government codes, you start to lose me a little bit. I just think people need to understand that, yeah, a mistake was made. We know that. We're not trying to point fingers. What we're trying to do is let people know, here's how we're going to move forward and fix the mistake. So I hope it came off that way. If it didn't, I sincerely apologize for that.
Well, my remarks weren't necessarily for
Understood.
your board.
I got you. Thank you for that. I want to make sure that we allow others to speak to this item. Is anyone here? I was told there was someone in the back that was here for this item. I want to give you a chance to make any comments you want to. or ask any questions that you have. Thank you, Ms. Espinoza.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Ricardo Herrera, Herrera, and I'm one of the parties involved in the discussions regarding the Greenfield Union School District race. Good morning. Let me begin by saying something important about the timeline. Mrs. Espinoza just mentioned the fact that she accorded Greenfield Union School District on December the 3rd the opportunity to bring in a question on the lawsuit. Her office was made aware of this error, quote unquote error, on Monday, November the 25th. That's 10 days before the actual certification of the election. I brought it before.
You brought it to their attention?
I brought it to their attention on Monday, November the 25th.
Thank you.
To keep those timelines in perspective. Moreover, did she contact Dr. Shirley Weber up in Sacramento? As far as I know the timeline, Dr. Weber has till Friday, December the 13th, and now today's December the 10th, to actually certify California's election. Why didn't she actually ask for an extension, knowing that that these numbers were actually in question? And so I'm concerned about the integrity of the election. All four of you up there, Perez, Peters, Couch, Flores, you guys are going to be up for re-election soon. You guys could be finding yourself on this side of where I'm standing too. You want to make sure, let's take away the Democrat, the Republican perspective aside. You want to make sure that there's integrity in the election regardless of how you vote. Yes, and so, you know, I'm a Democrat, far-left liberal, and in 2020, when Donald Trump claimed that there was voter irregularity across the country, people who are dead who are voting, people brushed it aside, said he was just embellishing the truth. Well, I'm living through it right now. As I was curing letters, as you know, I know that the Perez campaign was curing letters throughout my district. Her district covers my area. I found a person who said, I went to a home, and they told me twice that that person already died. I hadn't even brought that up as a concern. But this is basic fourth grade math. Officially, quote unquote, Espinoza claims that I lost by 8 votes, according to she wants to certify this election. But you do the math. 108 people who shouldn't have partaken in this process actually did. And they call it an error or a voter discrepancy. But if you go on those 108 doors that are out there, how many actually voted knowing that they shouldn't have voted because they voted in trustee D? That's fraud. That's not irregularity, right? So I hope that you guys have a spine. You guys are all 4 elected officials. Do not adhere to what Ms. Espinoza requested, a quote unquote just a formality in the election, and don't raise your hand and vote. Don't certify this election yet. Thank you.
So could you, Doctor, could you spell your name for us for the record?
Herrera. And one last thing I'll say too, I don't think that we should be wasting taxpayers' money with the legal counsel when going out to court trying to defend this case. It's indefensible. You know, the county's in a budget hole. Don't waste taxpayers' money on this thing.
I'm not sure that you understood. Well, let me turn to our county counsel. I don't think I heard you say that.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I don't think I heard you say that you were going to defend the county in this case. You have to work with the courts in this case because there's a lawsuit that the county's named in. Correct?
That's correct. The county recognizes that a mistake was made and will move forward to fix it. It's just that the way that the laws are written, we can't just say, oh, here's what we're going to do. We need to have a court order, direction in order to do that. But we're not planning on going to court and fighting the petition. We're just, if a court told us today, here's what you need to do, I'm confident that Ms. Espinoza and her staff would move in that direction.
So, Chairman, may I ask a question?
Supervisor Flores, sorry, I didn't see you there.
That's okay, thank you. Okay, so based on your comments, Ms. Raison, you said that the first writ was unsuccessful. Do we anticipate a second writ, or has there been a second one filed?
I haven't seen one, and I'm sorry, I just received an email about we've been trying to schedule a meeting with schools legal counsel to try to figure out if they're the best way to move forward. But It's my understanding that a subsequent writ was going to be filed, but I have not seen it. So I don't know if the school
We think a new
has.
one will be filed. We think.
I can't speak on behalf of the school district,
Okay,
but
because
that was my
otherwise, this will be a
understanding.
moot point unless there's a secondary writ.
Quite likely.
I just want to emphasize that for the people that have standing, and Dr. Herrera has been harmed. I empathize with him, but the way to move forward is to not certify because we lack that ability based on your comments. So the way to move forward for the ultimate correction, which he's due, and like you reiterated, we're not going to oppose. We want to correct. So the second step that's necessary is a second writ with someone who has standing.
Correct.
Not to guide them, but just to inform for the public.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Please come to the microphone and please give us your name.
Good morning. Just for clarity, I am General Counsel for Schools Legal Service, so rather than speculate on what might happen next, it's Mr. Rizon and I who have been trying to connect as to next steps regarding this matter to drive it towards resolution, and spelling my last name because it is difficult.
Yeah, your first and last name?
Abigale, last name Alfont, AU, 2 F's as in Frank, ANT as in Tom. So we are general counsel for Greenfield Union School District. Our goal, and certainly we will engage in further discussions with Mr. Rizon. We're not trying to come to resolution in front of the public at this moment. If it's necessary to file a second petition, we will. Our hope is to be able to come to a resolution, a settlement, to be able to get this to the place where it needs to be to make sure that a special election can be held so that the integrity of the election process can be met. Because right now, the election for the trustee for Area C, that election was not held in a fair manner. So that is the goal. Hopefully, it can be resolved expeditiously. As Supervisor Couch mentioned, you would like to see it on the agenda for next Tuesday. We moved heaven and earth to be able to have a writ and a hearing on that writ held last week. As was mentioned previously, we were notified of this situation approximately 10 a.m. last Tuesday. We were able to get all of the pleadings filed on Wednesday on this very complicated situation. The very first day we were able to get a hearing before the court on an emergency petition was Friday. So that was how this moot situation arose, was because the day that the county elections had to certify it was on Thursday. So that's how we ended up in this tangled situation of the county elections not having a court order in hand to prevent the certification happening on Thursday, which left the judge in a position of not having a remedy to give us, because the remedy we had requested in that very expeditious filing that we did was moot. They didn't have something that they could give us based off of our filing, because the court, with their timing for filing, could not get us in before Friday morning. So that's why we're at where we're at today, with not having something before the court right now that they can grant us relief on. So that's why my hope in discussions with county council is, can we come to an agreement, a stipulated court order, something of that nature, so that we can move forward on this? If we can't, we will work together. Ms. Rizon and I have a good working relationship. If we can't do that, we will do what needs to be done to be able to resolve this issue. Requiring us to file additional court paperwork, we have to spend money. That costs money. Greenfield's one of the poorest school districts in the county. Causing us to spend additional money on their behalf takes money away from a very poor school district. So that's just a factor to take into consideration. So we will do what has to be done within legal means to be able to allow a fair and equitable election to take place, so that voters in trustee Area C can have the board trustee candidate that they want to represent them. And that's what the district wants, and we will do whatever's necessary to see that that is done. but the finances are a factor for the district.
Thank you for that. So just to make sure I understood you and everybody understood you, Supervisor Flores asked the question, has another writ been filed? The answer to that is not yet.
Not yet.
You would like to file, if you have to, or come to a stipulated agreement or judgment with county council?
That would be my preference because it wouldn't be incurring the additional costs. And even if we were able to file something with the court today, the timing of being able to get a hearing with the court would be in the same situation of a timing factor. And other additional.
Do you need to talk with our county council about that, or is there another person in your office that can do that while she's here today?
We are trying to get a meeting set up, and it will be either tomorrow or Thursday is what we're working through with our calendars. It's Margot Rizon and head of her legal
Well, you're
department.
not that far
Andrew.
apart right now. I'm thinking you could just get it done while we're here.
We're really
close, I
yeah,
believe.
we've spent a lot of time communicating. I also have Assistant County Counsel Kendra Graham looped in on this, and the reason I had to ask you
And
to
she's
repeat
upstairs.
the question was I was sending an email saying that if maybe, because I'm not available today, that Kendra could run with it.
Thank you.
So I'm open, whatever time it takes, whatever it's needed.
Fourth floor.
Today.
I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you, she's on the fourth floor and working on it, and ready to talk.
Okay, if Margot directs me to do so, I will go there right now to resolve.
There you go, Margo.
Yeah, I just, yes.
Supervisor
That
Peters,
shouldn't be a
want to jump in?
Yeah, thank you. Just so I understand a couple of things that we talked about, I know your concerns with, financially trying to file another writ and some of those concerns, but am I correct, this question would be for county council, it was determined that the school district wasn't the appropriate party to bring this forward, so wouldn't it be, I don't know, one of the candidates or even the county itself saying, hey, we noticed this issue and therefore we're asking the court to make a ruling on that, and rather than the school district itself being the one filing for that writ?
So, excuse me, Supervisor Peters through the chair, it's my understanding that the court did not specifically rule on that, but suggested that that was a concern that the court had.
Okay, but would that be something that the county could do and say, hey, we noticed this issue, there's this discrepancy, so we're asking ourselves for guidance from the court on how we should proceed legally?
We're exploring that as one of the possibilities.
Okay.
That we can bring it.
Okay, I appreciate it. And then my other question, I think, would be for Ms. Espinoza. Or maybe somebody else can answer this, but who noticed this discrepancy initially? I mean, who was the one that caught this and brought this to the public's attention? Mr. Herrera, okay.
Monday, November the 25th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all my questions for right now. Thank you.
One thing regarding that, somebody has to bring.
I'm sorry, hang on.
That's all right.
Doctor, if you want to
Yes.
come to the microphone.
Earlier, the question has been raised as to somebody has to have legal standing, somebody who's been affected. I went to the county yesterday, told me it's $435 to file to join the application. They're supposed to provide me the paperwork today, as I'll pay, even though I'm not responsible, $435, so they could add standing to this, to the affected party, and so that's what they told me. So if you need $435 off me, I'll pay it today, and you guys need to resolve this.
Sure.
Supervisor.
Thank you, Chair.
Supervisor Peters, are you done?
Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Supervisor Perez.
Can you reiterate again, do we have a reason not to certify the election today? Can we just clarify that?
We do, so your question is, do we have a reason?
Do we have a reason to not certify the election today?
No.
Okay. These people can resolve their matters and have it adjudicated in a timely fashion with the judge, very likely going to result in a special. And it would have, we are not perfect people. That is none of us. So it seems like that is a reasonable solution, and it seems like we can now move to certify the election.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Declare the.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion on staff's recommendation to declare whatever it is the legal statement of what it is we're doing here. But on this, number 11, so moved.
Yeah, we're declaring. Yeah, it's a declaration. Second.
Why don't we make it very clear and say that the motion is to approve staff's recommendation? Supervisor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you accept that?
That sounds perfect. Friendly amendment accepted.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second.
I think we have more speakers.
We have more speakers?
Yeah, we're not done.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this item? Please come to the front row so we can see you, and we'll get you to the microphone quickly. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Roseanne Wattenville. I'll spell it for you. Rosann. Wattonville. Wattonville, sorry. I just wanted to mention, I really appreciate both sides that are working on this, and I think we're going to come to a good resolution, but once you get mired in court, it takes a lot of money. So I appreciate Dr. Ricardo Herrera too, because we've been trying to help get him elected, but I think you're all trying to do the right thing, so I appreciate that. And I know I've been to a lot of meetings, and I've heard Amy, and I know that her group's been working really hard, and I commend them for that too. And I see the other side too with Dr. Ricardo, that we've worked really hard. I do think election integrity needs to be maintained if there's a mistake where 108 votes in the wrong district, so I think you guys are doing the right thing, but he is an incumbent. He lost by 8 votes, and we've been working really hard to try to get that, to get him elected. All of you know that have run in an election how important election integrity is here and the stature of election integrity. So I think it's important for those of you who are governed by the election education board to believe in the integrity. It could affect the board in so many ways, and I'm looking at not only is it affecting, those 108 voters that got in the wrong district, what about the district that, they should have been voting in? So it looks to me like there could be more than, unfortunately, more than just Dr. Ricardo's, his election that might have been affected. So it's like a quagmire that just keeps getting deeper and growing bigger. So I think I appreciate all of you guys that are trying to get this worked out. But we need to do the right thing, and especially in today's election, integrity is probably the most important thing to keep in mind. So thanks. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Ms. Wattenville.
Good morning, Chairman Couch, Mr. Flores, Mr. Peters, Ms. Perez. First of all, let me say I appreciate you and your jobs. I know how difficult it is, and I appreciate the work you do for the people of the county of Kern. My name is Ramon Hendricks. I'm the superintendent here in Greenfield Union School District. I had some prepared comments, but I think everyone has spoken this morning about this situation. I would just offer a couple of clarifications about the election. The young lady who just finished speaking indicated it may affect other trustee area elections in Greenfield. Greenfield has 5 trustee areas. We only had 1 election. The other 2 ran unopposed, so this doesn't affect any other trustee areas, but it does affect Area C. That's one clarification.
That's the first good news we've had today. Thank you.
Yes. The second thing is, from a district's perspective, there is a timeline involved. I have an organizational meeting that's scheduled less than 10 days from now, where I'm supposed to seat the incumbent, reseat the incumbent, or seat the new board member. And I have confidential business, I have financial decisions to make to keep the district running, so it's imperative that a decision or a plan is developed rather quickly, and I appreciate your support in making that happen this morning. There was a question about court fees and attorney fees and fees to the candidate that can become expensive if we keep this ball rolling, so I'm hopeful that we can get this situation resolved quickly. Our priority is accuracy of the election results, transparency and fairness for the people in Area C, and making sure we have integrity in the 2024 election for Greenfield Union School District. I'm available for any questions that you have. Otherwise, thank you for your time this morning and your consideration of everything that has been said.
Thank you, Mr. Hendricks. Appreciate it. Supervisor Perez, would you accept a little addition to the motion?
Depends on what it is.
Well,
What are we
I'm
talking
think-
about, Kev?
Well, I want people to leave here knowing that not only did we vote to declare the results official, I think that's the term, but that we're also directing our staff to minimize, if not eliminate, costs to the affected parties, be they district candidates, whomever.
That is so thoughtful. Thank you, Chair. Absolutely,
Okay.
happily. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
You second that? Okay. Any other comments before we vote? I thought there's possibly one. Seeing, yes, Ms. Reese?
May I say just one sentence? If the votes were voted by...
Well, we need to come to the microphone.
If the votes were voted by incorrectly assigned voters, should it not just be null and void on that one race? Just a thought.
Thank you. Mr. Shin?
If it may please the chairman, I would like to make just one point of clarification. Our ROV made a comment basically somewhat aimed, I think, in our direction. We're not here to throw spitballs at the elections department. We're not here to disparage the personnel that work with the elections department, the fine job that they're trying to do. What we're doing is we point out deficiencies that need correction. And you can't fix something if you can't identify it and bring it to term. So I just want to point that out. We're not here to disparage the elections department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Okay, no other speakers. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That, I believe, takes us to the end of the morning agenda. We just need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Motion.
Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.